Yeah, yeah, you are welcome back to the third lesson on Introduction to Human Resources Management. The first two lessons we have discussed the historical emergence of the concept of human resources management, starting from when the concept was known as personnel management to what we are calling it now, human resources management. So also we have talked about the functions or activities of a human resources management vis-a-vis human resources manager in an organization. But we're talking about uh, peculiarity between personnel management and human resources management. And these are the things I want my work class students to know at the end of this third lesson. Want to mention some of the peculiarity of personnel management and human resources management. Then two, to identify the differences between the practice of traditional personnel management and what we are doing today that we call contemporary human resources management. Three, to mention some of the differences between the two as contained in the analysis of what story categorized in 1992 and a scholar in 1998. Yeah, so here are the principles and practice of traditional personnel management. In the traditional personnel management, the basic objective or paradigm behind it is how did we attract, how do we retain, how did you motivate employees in an organization. So the traditional personnel management just focus directly mainly on staffing. Okay, on staffing, they're talking about wages and salary, explaining management expectation, justifying management action, and work-related needs. So it is believed that at this particular era, workers are only effective uh, when their job related to personnel needs are met. So personnel management in these particular areas are just involved in more direct way with their subordinates because personnel aspect of is an aspect of order management and often perceived by the manager as the central to the role of organization. So, but human resources management as a field of activity has moved beyond this domestic focus of just concentrating on attracting, retaining, motivating employee. So it is more now concerned with issue of growth, profitability, competitiveness, and flexibility as the world is changing. So unlike the traditional personnel management that just focus basically on how we attract, retain, motivate them. No, the contemporary human resources are now looking at how did the organization become more productive, how did they become more competitive, how did they become more flexible, taking into consideration some of the challenges that the new globalization paradigm has been bringing on board to different organizations. So as a result, organizations have to now look inward of attracting the best talent, retaining the best talent, and motivating them. So in order for organization to achieve the goal of productivity, growth, competitiveness, and flexibility that globalization and its accomplices have brought into the business world. So therefore, human resources professional have become more generalized, unlike the traditional personnel management where they are just specialized in wages determination, getting people on board, which are just too narrow-minded. So unlike personnel management, it is no longer a narrow discipline for HR people to look. Rather, it's more broadened and it is a team focused activities now. So if you look at these two model by Story and Scholar, so they look at some of the major dimension that distinguish traditional personnel management from the contemporary human resources management. So it's about 14 or thereabouts. So I will only take my time to discuss 10 of this dimension. First and foremost, they look at the area of belief and assumption of contracts. So in the traditional personnel management, a contract was carefully denoted or carefully denoted. That means it has been defined. It's been defined that this is what you can do. But now in the contemporary human resources management, the belief and assumption is more, it has gone beyond contract. So meaning they don't just want you to be a monoskill personnel in the organization, rather you have to be multitasking, you have to be multi-scaling so that you'll be able to achieve these challenges that the globalization has brought. So two, in the area of roles, for personnel management, the rule are being diverse clearly. There's a mutuality. But now in the contemporary human resources management, it's what we can call can do outlook. That is, you don't have to be patient with the rules. You use your distraction sometimes to make sure you put something on the table for the organization to meet up with competitiveness. So, guide to the management action, which is another dimension. In the traditional personnel management, you have to follow the procedure, but now you just have to follow the guide based on the need of the business. Okay, so you don't have to be to be dogmatic to a particular rules, but rather you use distraction in the contemporary human resources management. So similarly, in the area of managerial tasks, vis-a-vis labor, on the traditional personnel management is more of a monitoring, but now it is related to nurturing. You train people, you develop people, you work as a team, not just you being the boss, giving the directive but alone. Similarly, in the area of nature, relationship, the traditional it is pluralist. So it's pluralist in the sense that you believe the employers have their own goals to achieve, and me as a worker, I have my own goals to achieve. Then we have to work in that particular. No, 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 no. So in the contemporary human resources now, it is now unitarism. It's now unitary. So meaning every one of us, either employer, employee, we are all working to achieve a common goal. So all of us are working towards the same goal of a competitiveness, profitability for organization, flexibility, growth, and what have you. So in the area of a conflict as a dimension, in the traditional personnel management, the conflict is being institutionalized, meaning their institutional arrangement that organization need to follow to solve conflicts. But now in the contemporary HRM, it is being de-emphasized. People don't even look at the so-called collectivism again. They are now looking at it from the paradigm of individualism. So in order to reduce conflicts in organization. So another dimension I will also be talking about is the area of strategic aspects. Unlike traditional, it's just labor management relationship, but now it is more of customer focus. It's more of customer focus. You don't have to look at the relationship between you and your employer. Rather, you look at the relationship between you worker and the customer. Because customer they refer to as the king. If the customers are not there, then you are not going to be in such an organization. So another dimension I will also be talking about in the area of initiative. Unlike the traditional whereby the initiative is just a piecemeal, but now it is being integrated. Being integrated, you come up with your own idea, with your own psyche, and bring it into the organization. Since all of us are working towards the same goal of making the organization to get to the promised land of competitiveness, profitability, productivity, and high performance. And the last aspect I'll be also talking about is the area of a corporate plan. So it is being marginal in the traditional personnel, but now the corporate plan is being centralized. So now I will ask some of my students to ask questions, but because of time, perhaps I just have to skip that because I know they are enjoying the class. Maybe after the whole lecture, then the question and answer segment will be able to come to. So so far so good on what we have learned on the dichotomy between traditional personnel management and contemporary human resources management. I would like to cap it all with this summary so that it will be more comprehensive for my work class students. So we have discussed about the differences in both principle and practice of traditional personnel management and contemporary human resources management. We have also talk about what traditional personnel management means, which is highly domesticated focus. We basically focus on like human resources management that is globally focused now. So then also we talk about traditional personnel management practitioner. They are just specialized in the area of attracting, motivating, retaining. So whereas the human resources management practitioner in the contemporary era have to be generalized by participating in teamwork with other specialists to serve the customers. I mean, remember I told you it is more of a unitarism now. It is more of a unitrist. So meaning we have to work together to achieve a common goal, and our goal here is to satisfy customer. So which is another effect of a good human resources management. So finally, we talk about the primary goal of personnel management, which is just to attract, retain, motivate, and retrain. So whereas the contemporary human resource management is more concerned with bottom line training in order to achieve the growth and profitability